Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dark Roast. I'm Donna Stroll, and I am here with the lovely and talented Rose Short. And today we are talking about affiliate program audits. So basically auditing your program to make sure it's worth all the energy that you're putting into it.
Yes, huge especially if you're just starting out, right? You want to see where that money's coming in versus where you're just spinning your wheels.
Yep. And it can be very, you put a lot of effort into it, especially when you're first starting out, right? You're putting a lot of effort into figuring out what you're going to do and what products you're going to post and where you're going to post everything and how you're going to share that information and get those sales. And you're putting all that energy towards building something, and maybe you've got a dud, or maybe you've got one that's unethical and you didn't know it. Or maybe they're not giving you the return on all that energy is just no good, right? So if your affiliate dashboard is looking empty, or it's got no information, or it's got information you can't understand, it's time to audit, right? That's just, it's important.
Yes, especially if you're getting like tons of clicks but no conversions, there's something fishy maybe, right? So we typically think audits and we think, oh no, IRS audit or something like that, right? But auditing your themes is so beneficial. And it's your business, your personal life, your own finances. There's so many useful ways that you can use an audit that doesn't have to be scary. So think of it like a relationship check-in, right? I'm very pro these where couples get together like once a month and do like the HR check-in kind of thing. It's kind of that, but for your business, especially for your affiliate programs, because they do change. Sometimes they disappear, right? Sometimes something that you're an affiliate for, that business dissolves or they move on to something else. And so you really got to look into all of these. Most people skip the audit because they assume that the network or brand that they're promoting, one, has their back, which isn't necessarily the case, and two, knows what's best, right? But you're the CEO. You're not the sidekick to these people. So it's really important that you take charge and know what you're talking about, what's working, what's not.
I think that sometimes when we're affiliates, we claim that it's our business, but we run it like an employee. And so this is an opportunity for you to take back that business and really make it your own. So it's empowerment, right? It's your time, and your time is worth money. It has value. Too often we forget that our time has value. So it's very important that you treat it like it's money, or that it's something extremely valuable. In the self-care industry, we're always talking about, make sure you make time for yourself and do these things. And well, your business is the same. You've got to remember that if you're spending 20 hours to create one thing, and then you get one sale that's only worth $1, was it really time well spent? Was it worth it, right? And it's feelings versus facts, right? Loving a brand doesn't mean that the program loves you back. So you can love a brand all you want, but if they're not giving back to you, maybe it's not the right brand to be promoting. You can still love it, you can still enjoy it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to put all the effort in to try and build their business, right? So
for sure. And it's something that you should be integrating into your business even from the get-go, right? So many times people wait until the crisis mode where it's like, oh my God, I haven't been paid in 3 months, or I've been putting all my time in, like, again, the 3-month death date we've talked about, right? I've been creating reels and posting 3 times a day nonstop, and I've made 30 cents. But if you had audited the first month, maybe you could have seen what was working, what wasn't, what reels or posts were getting more visibility and more clicks and things like that. So it's really good to have as a routine, even with your good programs that are paying really well, right? Just because they're paying this year doesn't mean that they're not going to change things and something's going to screw up down the line next year. Or we've seen it before, doesn't mean that there's not going to be a lawsuit and that all the affiliates are going to have to reapply to be an affiliate, because we've seen that.
Yes, that we have. So if you wouldn't tolerate your partner being spastastic, they're being like, one day they're great and the next day they're like, right? Don't tolerate that from your network. your affiliate program either. If they're really great sometimes and really awful other times, then maybe it's not a good fit, because you don't need to be walking on eggshells with your business of all things, right? You having that understanding and knowing that it's going to be secure. And maybe you're okay with making smaller commissions because you're selling a lot. And that's fine as long as it's working for you. That's what the audit is for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to focus on metrics that actually matter, okay? Because there's tons of metrics out there, and some of them are for your feelings and some of them are for your business, right? So your conversion, if it's under 2%, you got to look a little deeper. Is it the landing page? Are you using their landing page? Maybe their landing page sucks, right? Is it the copy? Is it the traffic? Is it a misalignment? Are you reaching out to the wrong people? And so therefore they're getting there, but that's not what they want. These are all things that you need to look at. We talk about that all the time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then your average order value, right? And this is really, really important as you start building your own offers and things as well. Bigger baskets equal better effort. So you'll look at the program that you're promoting. What does their upsell process look like? Is it clean and concise, or is it a hodgepodge of you have to go through 50 different, no, I don't want this offer, just take me to my original offer nonsense? Because that will irritate a lot of people. Focus maybe promoting those that do have good upsells that are still worth the value versus the ones that are pushy upsells.
Yeah. And then you also want to check on your earnings per click, right? Because that's the gold standard, right? That's the metric for performance comparison. If you're getting lots of clicks, but you're not getting any earnings, then something is wrong in between A and B, and you need to figure out what that is. But if you're sending your clicks and you're getting a good return, that's it. That's important, right? That's something that you want to pay attention to.
And that's really important if you're running ads too, right? So most people when they're first starting out probably aren't going to invest in ads because they don't really understand ads yet. They haven't really built their brand yet. But once you start doing ads or even solo ad traffic, those kind of things, earnings per click is going to be super important.
The other thing that I think a lot of people don't actually pay attention to when they first get into is the cookie duration and the attribution. Longer cookies means better potential revenue for you. Short equals more competition for the same sale. So there are some where it's last one in, right, is the one that gets that commission, which can really suck. Some of them only have a 24-hour window. Some of them have a 30-day window. Some of them are permanent, right? So it's important for you to look at that duration and see how they attribute, because that's money in your bank. Right. And so if you and somebody else are selling the same thing, just because they managed to get that person to click the link after you, even though you put the effort in to get them there in the first place, that's really frustrating. That's really frustrating.
But you can be honest about it with people too. You can let them know, if you're interested, click my link so I get credit. I've talked about it before. Kara Corey's very good at that. If you want to help support me, use my link. And it's that kind of thing of just making sure they understand. And again, then, that was the lawsuit with Honey, was people were using other people's links, and then Honey was putting in different codes that were slashing the affiliation. But don't be afraid to ask people to support you, or let them know that your link is how they support you, how you get credit.
Yeah. Yeah. And say duration matters. So, and 15-day might be good enough for you. 24 hours might be good enough for you, but that's up for you to decide and to also be aware of. Right? If you go in thinking that if I give my link, all sales will come to me, that's not necessarily true. So you just need to know that your time matters. Don't promote low earnings per click things out of loyalty. It's a business. You need things that are going to convert for you, right? You need the stuff that's going to actually make you money.
Yes. So red flags, we talk about a lot. Unfortunately, we always talk about these things in relationships, and we don't tend to talk about them in situations such as business, right? So some red flags specifically of the program that you're promoting, not necessarily the website or anything like that. One that I'm dealing with right now, late or inconsistent payments. This is really frustrating, and it is a huge red flag.
And you will find that a lot, especially with, I want to say, smaller affiliate programs, not necessarily small, but smaller, or ones that come out hot. But the further you look into it, the business seems a little bit like you're going to find payment issues with bigger ones just because they have their own payment plan process going on. So it might not meet what you want, but the smaller ones, they might just not pay you. Or they might pay you every other month instead of when they're supposed to be paying you. Or they just stop paying you altogether. And that should always be a non-negotiable. And feel free to be relentless. If they're not getting back to you, contact other people in their higher ups, contact people that they're connected with. And if they really intend to continue to not pay you, call them out publicly, because you're saving other people from the same situation that you're in. It's okay to put them on blast if you need to, right? Try the other avenues first. But if they continue to refuse to handle your situation, to solve your problem, then you have the internet. Utilize it.
Yep. Now, be sure, of course, that you've read the terms and conditions. You understand that a lot of them will tell you when they're going to pay out. Double check that you've linked your payout accounts correctly, because there are things that maybe you've done that are causing the payments not to go through. But double check on your end first before you reach out to support.
Yeah, absolutely. That you should do that anyways. And also, if the terms, this is another red flag though, if the terms are unclear or they seem to have some pretty shady compliance setups, these are things that you need to know. If the terms of service or commission path is I don't understand exactly what's going down here, that's a good key indicator that you shouldn't be involved. If it's not clear enough for you to know exactly what you need to do, what they're responsible for, how it's going to happen, then it's going to just be a problem further on down the line. Or there might be some shady wording in there. I know I've mentioned before, Spotify had some pretty shady statements in there about owning all your work and things like that. And it's like, no, I know for authors, one of the key things is lifetime. You're signing your rights over lifetime. No, never. You don't ever want to do that. You're welcome to have like we can revisit this in 3 years or 2 years or whatever, but never sign over all your rights, because it's never going to be beneficial to you. Never.
Yeah.
And then with the money thing, low support responsiveness. And that could be for anything. Say you signed up under somebody and then you have some questions and you reach out and you get crickets, or just Google it.
Oh my God. Yeah.
These are not answers that are supportive and not helpful. Or just join the community, and that's great. The community may have lots of information, but if you can't get the support that you require, or you're sent to everywhere else but actually support, that's something to be concerned about as well. I absolutely despise the term just Google it. I am already Googling it. I came to you after I Googled it. Don't tell me to Google it, right?
Pay attention to if they're supplying you with email swipes or ad creatives or tracking links and things like that, and they're really old or they're really outdated, or the links aren't quite acting right, or you've tested the link but you haven't gotten anything. And now some of them do have you can't sign up under your link kind of thing. You send it to somebody, you'd be like, hey, I'll reimburse you for this order. Can you just order this and let me see if this works? Then that is a giant red flag that either it's an outdated program that nobody's paying attention to anymore, which means there isn't going to be any support, or they're not putting any reinvestment into their process and haven't realized that the marketing game has changed. And so all of these things can be really detrimental.
Yep. And that is why we say audit. Yeah. So now the next thing we want to talk about is ROI. And this is important. This is the bread and butter of your business, right? For those who may not know what ROI is, it's return on investment. So
is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yes, basically that is the bottom line. Just because you got a sale doesn't mean that it's covering all the other stuff, right? So that's super important. You got your net profit divided by your total costs, right? So or even just minus your total cost is simple enough. You don't even have to go into division. It doesn't have to be that difficult, right? You made this much, and this much of it goes to the business, right? And to cover everything else, whether it's your ads, your time, the tools that you use. Don't forget to include the tools that you use. You should be figuring out how much you're spending each month, whether it's for CapCut Pro or Canva Pro or some repurposing or Opus or whatever it is that you're using. Yeah, autoresponders, mailing, your funnels, all those things that you're putting money into has to be taken into consideration from when you start making money, when you start actually getting sales and making money and pulling that in. How much is it costing you to do that? Are you actually making money or not?
Yep. So the easiest way, right? Let's say you get a high ticket commission, you made $500. And your autoresponder is $15 a month, and your funnel builder is $97 a month, and your internet is $100 a month, and your time and energy and your content, let's say you're just factoring in $10 for yourself right now, $10 an hour, right? Well, maybe it was 30 hours of creating content. Well, that's $300. And then you got to factor in if you're doing ad spend, what did your ad spend look like, right? So very quickly that number can become negative, especially if you're only making one or two of those high commission sales a month. I see it all the time where people are like, oh, I made $1,000. And what they're not telling you is that they spent $3,000 to do it. So it's very simple math. And this is what are your non-negotiables, right? So maybe you're not even factoring in paying yourself yet, which when you're first starting out, you're probably not. And that's fine. But still look at what the cost of the tools to get to that sale are costing you, and then subtract those out of the sale. And oftentimes when you're first starting out, it's going to be a negative number. And again, 3-month death date, right? It often takes about 6 to 7 months, unless you already have a substantial following, to get to a profit. And that's by auditing, finding what's working, and really doubling down on what's working. If you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks, it's going to be longer.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you've hooked onto something that maybe isn't the right thing for you, you might have to start again, which is really frustrating, but you've got the skills and tools and everything else. So that's just a side statement that it's okay to start over if things aren't working. And maybe you find a better niche, and that's okay. But you just know that it does mean that you're going to have to start over, but you can take all that experience and education and tools and everything that you've already got set up and utilize that.
This is exactly how the big companies audit their advertising and their marketing budget, right? Is they're looking at it and going, well, for every dollar we spend, we're making $7. That's a fantastic ROI. But if you're looking at it going, okay, for every dollar I spend, I make 5 cents, maybe adjust something. Or even worse, for every dollar I spend, I'm making nothing or 10 cents. Probably time to pivot.
Yeah. You don't have to have a calculator attached to your hip, right? You just need to, mind you, we do, but
like that math teacher in middle school.
But it's just a way to do it. If you're spending money and you're not getting back more than what you're spending, that's not good marketing. You're donating money to all these other programs, and that happens, right? Like I say, that's why you're doing the audit, because you're going to have to make some changes and do some things, and so that your ROI actually has value to you, and that you're actually building a business that is going to sustain and build upon itself. And that takes time. My brain automatically goes to these people who are like, in 3 months, I'm making $10,000. And it's like, that's such a load of bullshit.
But especially because as a beginner, you're often pushed into the make money online niche, right? Because the program that got you into it and is teaching you the skills also wants you to promote them, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. But if that doesn't align with what you want to do, which Donna and I ran into this in one of our coaching communities where the coach was pushing it hard and all of us were like, yeah, that's not our jam. This is the niche I'm in, or this is the niche I'm in, right? Again, being authentic matters here, right? So if you have no desire to promote these programs, then don't. Because promoting them is just going to make you backpedal, right? Take the skills and apply it to what you actually want to promote.
Yep. And it is like, it's your first affiliate program for a lot of people, and they get you in because it's usually a high ticket item. So you start promoting that. So at best, what it's doing, if it's not really your gem, is it's teaching you some skills. Yeah. So it's not necessarily a loss, right? You don't say going and getting educated is a loss. Learning how to do a new skill is a loss. It's just this skill can be applied to other things besides selling a course. And if you love your course and you think it's the best thing since sliced bread and you want to be able to promote that, that's cool too, right? No one's saying that that's a negative space to be in, because it's not, right? You're helping other people learn how to do things. You just have to know whether or not that's the right thing for you, which is why next week we're going to be talking about niches.
Yes. All right. So you've done your audit, right? You've gone through, you've looked at it. Now, let's say it's not the greatest, you're not making a good ROI, or you're right on that cusp. Well, you've got two options, right? You can level up or you can leave.
Yep, exactly. So you want to do program optimization. You want better creatives, A/B tests, personalized bonuses. These are things that are going to help you build your business and help it get better and have a better ROI, because you can just let it lie and hope for the best. But when you're doing an audit, the whole point is to make it better and see where it needs help, right?
Mm-hmm. And this diversify as well.
This is not a relationship, I was going to say. Or it can be a relationship, but this is not your standard relationship. Let's put it that way.
You don't have to be monogamous on this one, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. You want to spread that risk across multiple niches, right? Because that way, or just multiple areas within that niche. So have a broader niche, but you can put things in, or have a smaller niche, but there's multiple things that you can put inside of it to build up that income, because having multiple income streams is always going to be more beneficial to you than having one. Because if something happens to that one, then you really are just having a job, right? Because you lose your job, you're screwed, and then you got to find something else. But if you have multiple streams of income, if you lose one, it might hurt, but then you can just replace it with something else while these other things are still paying you.
Yeah. Then you can always re-engage, right? So maybe usually when you have a program who you're sending traffic to their landing page, they'll give you multiple links because they're testing multiple landing pages. So maybe your link number 4 was great and it was converting the ad, and then you notice in the last 2 months maybe it's not. You can always reach out to the program and be like, hey, did you guys change something? Have you been testing? Like, it used to be link 4 that was converting. What are you seeing now? Because they're testing it too, because they're still promoting it on their own. So you can absolutely reach out to the program. If you have an affiliate manager, reach out to them or reach out directly to the support email, whatever it is, and just ask them, hey, it seems like traffic or the performance here has fallen off. What are you finding that's working now? What is it? Can I get updated creatives? Maybe they're not updating it properly in the Google Drive, or maybe you missed when they shared it, or maybe they're not sharing it in Google Drive anymore. So you can always ask for these things and start asking questions if they're seeing that drop off.
And it's that's a good space too, where you can see if that's part of your audit. Are they responsive? Are they actually looking at it? Did they even know? Are they paying any attention to that? Did they get back to you, right?
Yep.
If not, then you can say, thank you very much, goodbye, right? Dropping a program doesn't have to burn bridges. You can just say, this is no longer working with me, but thank you so much for all that I did learn, and get something else and replace it. And that's okay, right? Don't feel that your loyalty is more important than what you're actually making, right?
Yeah.
Loyalty will only get you so far. You can be loyal enough, and it doesn't matter if you're not getting paid, right? Because this is a business. This isn't a friendship. This is a business.
Yeah. And this is where having a link tree versus just spamming your links everywhere is beneficial, because then you can just pull that link directly off your link tree, and it makes it really easy to audit those links. If you've made videos talking about the programs or whatever, go in, and you don't have to delete them, but maybe archive them, or if they're on YouTube, maybe just make them private or unlisted. Continue to have that video researchable if, 1, you're not going to get credit, and 2, you no longer believe in the program. So these are all things that become really helpful. If maybe you've made your own web page or your own landing page, and You've got those links in there. You can go in and remove them. Email is a little more difficult if you've hyperlinked those in your email sequence, which is why you try to use a more generic link, I would say, in your emails. But all these things will help in the long run.
Yeah, and honestly, even with emails, if it's something where you've said that, you know what, I'm no longer connected with this, you can actually put out an email to people. That's authenticity. That's saying, hey, you know what, after X amount of time, we've decided to part ways. No, you don't have to be blasting them or anything else like that. You just say, it's no longer part of what I'm interested in or what I'm doing. I've moved on and this is what I'm doing now. It's a way of sort of just connecting with people and being honest. And that really, I think, helps for your authenticity, as long as you're not doing it every other month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I more meant going back in your autoresponder, because you're going to have to redo some of your emails if you were initially using that link. But that's where being hyper vigilant when you're crafting those emails and making your notes about what program it is promoting and what link it's promoting is so important. Because otherwise, you're going to have to go through everyone individually and check the link and see where you sent it. And that is a massive headache, especially if you're like me and hate the copy paste email nonsense. Make it easy on yourself, guys. Take those notes.
Yeah. And when you're naming them, you can also name them something that actually makes sense so that you know it is for particular programs. Naming matters.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, Google Sheets is a free Excel where you can literally just put it in. You know, This is what it is. This is the date that I did it. This is the link that's on it. Boom, 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 boom. You know, 5 minutes now is going to save you a heck of a lot more time later. Right?
Yeah.
So, all right. We have an affiliate audit checklist. It's got a fairly good sort of breakdown of everything. I'm going to put that as a PDF that you guys can download for yourself. We'll just run through it really quickly here. You've got your categories, which are your program basics. You want to check your terms of service, payments, account manager, make sure that they're actually responding to you. Your performance metrics is the next category. Your ROI, your EPC, your conversion rates, your cookie duration, creative and communication health. Is it good? Like, are they giving you updated information, updated stuff? Got quality landing pages with clear CTAs. They're regularly updating their offers, some seasonal relevance. That sort. Basically, are they on top of it? Because it's your business. Your competitive comparison. How does it benchmark against other things? Your offer and commission, identity, that kind of stuff, and then your decision. Does it continue to provide a good ROI? Does it? You have to rebuild? Are there any things that fail on it? So overall, that's what's on the checklist. Like I say, I will put the list up for you so that you guys can easily grab it. So there you go. Next week.
Next week. You kind of teased already, so.
Yes, we're going to talk about niche selection for more untapped areas, but we're not going to be talking about how you find the unicorn and it's going to take off and all, you get that one thing that's not like everybody else, because that's not how it generally works. But it is taking those broader niches and breaking them down into things that maybe are currently not being oversaturated and that sort of stuff. So that's it. That's pretty much everything for today. Anything else you need to say? We will be here next week, right? We don't have any reason not to be.
Not as far as I know. It's Halloween. I mean, there's that. So that'll be great.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So are we going to dress up?
Yeah. I don't know how dressed up, because it is like 6 o'clock in the morning for me. 7 now. But we'll see. There might be some spooky vibes.
All right, everyone. Have a good weekend. If you found this helpful, please drop a comment, share, and hit that subscribe button. Your feedback is super helpful in growing this channel.
And of course, if you have any questions or if there's any specific thing that you would like us to talk about, drop that in the comments too. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday, everyone.